Greetings and welcome back to another review. This time we are covering the film Equalizer 2. I really enjoyed the first one, so I was very excited to see there was a sequel. And I was eager to find out whether or not they keep the same themes and little insights that they put as nuggets throughout the movie. And I was not disappointed because from the very get go, we see Robert McCall in a new job. He's a Lyft driver now. He takes people from A to B. He This is emblematic of the kind of relationships he wants to build and the way he wants to connect or influence people's lives. It gives them a chance to examine where you are at, to see where you are going, and to decide whether or not he's going to get involved. That's what the director says in a behind the scenes documentary. He chose this job purposefully because it helps him to connect to his purpose. And as the first film reveals his purpose, now we see Robert McCall full force walking and living as the Equalizer. And there's a powerful scene when he's giving a person a ride that is struggling with the temptation to drink. And as the man is praying, Robert McCall prays along with the man, as the man is saying, "Lord, give me the strength to let go of the things I cannot control and give me the ability to influence those things you have given me power over, and the wisdom to know the difference." And Robert McCall prays with this man, and we see this prayer is an insight into the philosophy of life of the Equalizer, because right after that prayer he looks out the window and he sees people in the streets, homeless and without shelter, and his heart goes after them. He would like to help everybody, but he has to stay within his lane. He has to fight, his battles. He has to stay focused in his task. And that's what he says to Dave. And when he confronts the crew towards the end of the film, he says, "Hey, the world is not perfect. I cannot be jumping like a vigilante trying to fix every problem. And in a perfect world, things will not go unpunished. But this is not a perfect world." And Robert says, "The mistake you guys made is you crossed paths with me. And as you kill my friend, now I have to get involved. It's a fight that I have to fight." And that's why he helps Miles. That's why he helps the Holocaust survivor. That's why he chooses to get involved in the case of Susan, because as he's driving, as he's lifting people in his life, as he's taking them from point A to B, he realizes that there are things that are connected to who he is and things that he can affect, things that he can change. So this is a very powerful message, because we can apply that to our lives. We cannot be fighting every fight. Sometimes we are so involved, so invested in circumstances and people that are not even a part of who we are or the things that we're supposed to be walking. And as we make those mistakes, you know what happens? Often we neglect or we abuse or overlook the things that we have power over, the things that we can influence, the sphere that is delegated to us. So which fights and battles to fight? That's the first message that I got from the Equalizer 2. And I love to see Robert McCall and getting an insight into his mindset, his philosophy of life. It's almost like he's fighting in the natural and in the spiritual. Because, when he confronts evil, he makes a case. It's almost like going into the courtroom of heaven and making a case before he acts. He has to prove that it's your decision, that you're the one following evil, that he's just bringing a balance to your mistakes. He's not really enforcing his will. He's documenting or exposing the things that are out of line and that needs justice. And he defeats you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually before he actually gets involved and takes action into your life. So I love to see that, how Robert is living his life with purpose, and he actually has a philosophy behind his actions. And again, we see, like in the first film, that as Robert is reading books, these books are not accidents. They are actually connected to the struggles and issues that he's facing in his own life. One of the books that he's reading is called Between the World and Me. It's a series of letters of a father addressing his son to give him lessons about the challenges of growing up with racism in America. And this is actually coloring the relationship he has with Miles, a young man he's trying to train, mentor. He wants him to rise above his circumstance and his environment and fulfill his ultimate potential. And Robert is getting involved. He actually gives this book to Miles, and it describes that Robert wants to live life with a legacy. He wants to help others, and he wants to raise people to fulfill their own purpose. That's a very interesting thing because together, when they connect, it brings a lot of drama to the movie. There's a scene where Miles says, "Why are you helping me?" It kind of reminds me of Alina in the first movie, because Robert says, "Let's find out together." In other words, I'm living by faith. I'm choosing to believe there's a purpose. There's a reason why we're connected. And as Miles is resisting the friendship and the relationship, Robert confronts him in a very powerful way to let him know you have more to live than you know of. Don't choose the wrong path. There's doors opening before you. And Miles has to believe that Robert loves him and believes in him. And that shows that the reason why McCall is helping Miles is because by faith he's choosing to believe that there's something in him that can come forward in his potential. And in the end of the movie, we see there was a purpose. Miles is the one documenting the character like a superhero of the Equalizer, describing him almost as an angel. And Dave, at the end of the film, also takes Miles, and there's a line that he says, "I choose to believe that the kid matters." And he did matter. There was no accidents. So we see this relationship between Robert and Miles that is very similar to the first film when he's helping Alina. And there's another book, that's the first book, Between the World and Me. There's another book that is the most significant. It says, In Search of Lost Time. I was reading some of the reviews of the film, and they say that a lot of people were critical that it's like a lot of scenes, a lot of episodes from a show put together because you see so many stories. But actually all the stories are connected because they are all illustrating what the theme of this book is, what the title of this book is, In Search of Lost Time. If you analyze carefully, this Holocaust survivor that he's helping, he lost his sister, and he could not get over that. His heart was never able to move forward from that, and now he's trying to recover a painting of her that nobody believes is his. So he's in search of lost time. We see also Dave in the movie. He was never able to move beyond the death of Robert, the supposed death of Robert. He grew cynical and dissatisfied with life, and now he doesn't believe in right or wrong anymore. He doesn't believe in a moral code. So because of losing Robert, now he blames Robert for his downfall, for his path into darkness. So he's searching for what happened in the past also. Not only Robert's relationship with Dave and his crew, but we see his relationship with Susan. Susan confronts Robert and says, "Why don't you go back home and make peace of it? Why don't you go and recover what you have lost?" That's what Vivian would have wanted. So even Robert, at the end of the film, he's going back home, and through the storm, he's trying to find peace. He's in search of lost time, trying to recover the things that he lost. With his crew, with Dave, with his relationship with Susan, with his wife, he's trying to bring mending and resolution so he's able to move forward. Even Miles was never able to move beyond the death of his own brother. They was shot. And there's a part of the film that he's seeking vengeance. He's joining a gang so he can have revenge of what happened to his own brother. So every character is connected, and it's connected with this theme in very subtle way. The way the movie introduces this purpose and this theme is by the book Robert is reading, In Search of Lost Time. And this is actually very explicit in the movie. The Holocaust survivor says to Robert, "I lost my sister twice. Every time that the judge neglects me the opportunity to recover the painting, I feel like I'm losing her again." And that's what Miles tells Robert about his brother. He says to Robert, my grandmother says that if you don't remember somebody out loud, you lose them twice. And Robert is actually remembering also his wife Vivian in her birthday when Susan comes to visit him, and they had the same dialogue of remembering, of bringing back memories of the past. So the whole movie is showing more depth to the character of Robert McCall, the Equalizer, and now we see his struggles emotionally and how he's trying to bring healing and mending and resolution to move forward with his life. And all the characters that he's addressing in the film are struggling with the same situation. We saw Samuel, the Holocaust survivor. We saw Dave, Miles. They are all struggling with these issues. The movie does a good job in showing us how to move beyond the past and look forward to the things that are waiting for us in the future. To close, I love one scene that is the way that Miles put his signing. He calls the right hand of God. And towards the end of the film, we see that Robert is always being helped by supernaturally by what I believe is shown in the movie, the hand of God helping him. Because when Dave is gonna kill Robert, suddenly he's thrown by the wind and knocked over, and he's shown the way and the place where he's gonna die. And that was all the time that Robert needed to climb the stair and confront Dave. And that's like the right hand of God. Like, no, whenever the Equalizer attacks and he puts full force justice into a situation, he's being backed up. He's like an angel. He has supernatural help, and we see in the movie that he succeeds. And I really enjoyed watching the way that it connects to the first one, the way that the same themes are run over and over again. And I can't wait for the next one. I hope they do an Equalizer 3 because I'm gonna be the first one to enjoy it. So let's cut it short. And what else do you want to say about the Equalizer with me? Any details I left out, any messages with spiritual significance that you can add to this review, let me know in the comments, and we'll be back with another review soon.